Azboga Yahweh the prince, when he sees the two great sovereign and honored princes who stand above him, he removes the glorious crown from his head and falls prostrate. These are the names of the two princes: Sopitiel Yahweh, who puts to death, the great, honored, purified, glorified, ancient, and mighty prince, and Sopitiel Yahweh, who makes alive, the great, honored, glorified, pure, ancient, and mighty prince. Why is the name of that one called Sopitiel Yahweh, who puts to death? Because he is in charge of the books of the dead, for he records in the books of the dead everyone whose day of death has come. Why is the name of the other called Sopitiel Yahweh, who makes alive? Because he is in charge of the books of the living, for he records in the books of the living everyone whom the Holy One, blessed be he, is pleased to bring into life, by authority of the Omnipresent One, so that you should not suppose that since the Holy One, blessed be he, sits on a throne, they too sit and write. Scripture states, the whole host of heaven stood beside him. It does not say host of heaven, but the whole host of heaven, which teaches that even the great princes who are without peer in the heavenly height only attend to the needs of the Shekinah while standing. But how can they write while standing? The one stands upon the heels of storm, the other stands upon the wheels of storm. The one is clothed in a royal robe, the other is clothed in a royal robe. The one is wrapped in a cloak of majesty, the other is wrapped in a cloak of majesty. The one wears a kingly crown, the other wears a kingly crown. The body of the one is full of eyes, the body of the other is full of eyes. The appearance of one is like lightning, the appearance of the other is like lightning. The eyes of the one are like the sun in its strength, the eyes of the other are like the sun in its strength. The splendor of one is as the splendor of the throne of glory, the splendor of the other is as the splendor of the throne of glory. The height of one is that of 7 heavens, the height of the other is as the 7 heavens. The wings of the one are as the days of the year, the wings of the other are as the day of the year. The wings of the one are as the breadth of heaven, the wings of the other are as the breadth of a heaven. The lips of the one are like the gates of the east, the lips of the other are like the gates of the east. The tongue of the one is as high as the sea's waves, the tongue of the other is as high as the sea's waves. From the mouth of the one flames issue, from the mouth of the other flames issue. From the mouth of the one lightning shoot out, from the mouth of the other lightning shoot out. From the sweat of the one fire is kindled, from the sweat of the other fire is kindled. The tongue of the one is a blazing torch, the tongue of the other is a blazing torch. On the head of the one is a sapphire stone, on the head of the other is a sapphire stone. On the shoulder of the one is a wheel of a swift cherub, on the shoulder of the other is the wheel of a swift cherub. In the hand of the one is a burning scroll, in the hand of the other is a burning scroll. In the hand of the one is a pen of flame, in the hand of the other is a pen of flame. The length of the scroll is 3,000 myriads of parasangs. The height of the pen is 3,000 parasangs. The height of each single letter that they write is 365 parasangs. Above these two great princes is a prince, distinguished, honored, noble, glorified, adorned, dreaded, valiant, mighty, great, magnified, potent, crowned, wonderful, exalted, pure, beloved, sovereign, proud, elevated, ancient, and strong, without a peer among all the princes. His name is Rikbiel Yahweh, the great and terrible prince. Why is his name called Rikbiel? Because he is in charge of the wheels of the chariot, and they are committed to his keeping. How many wheels are there? 8, 2 for each direction. 4 winds enclose them in a circle, and these are their names: storm, tempest, hurricane, and gale. 4 rivers of fire flow from beneath them, one on each side. Between them, forming a circle, 4 clouds stand. Opposite their wheels, these are their names: clouds of fire, clouds of firebrand, clouds of glowing coal, and clouds of brimstone. The feet of the creatures rests on the wheels, and between one wheel and another earthquake roars and thunder rumbles. When the time comes to recite the song, the multitude of the wheels tremble, and the multitude of the clouds shudder. And all the captains tremble, and all the horsemen are agitated, and all the valiant shiver, and the hosts quake. All the legions are afraid, all the overseers are terrified, and all the princes and armies are alarmed. All the ministers faint, all the angels in cohorts writhe in agony, and one wheel utters the voice of another, cherub to cherub, creature to creature, Ophan to Ophan, and seraph to seraph, saying, Extol him who rides in the Arabot, whose name is the Lord, and exult before him. Above them is a great and powerful prince. Haliel, Yahweh, is his name, a prince noble and terrible, a prince sovereign and mighty, a prince great and dreaded, a prince from whom all the celestials shrink back, and a prince who is able to swallow the whole world at one gulp. Why is his name called Haliel? Because he is in charge of the creatures, and he whips them with lashes of fire. He extols them when they utter praise and glory, and he makes them hasten to say, Holy, 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 and blessed he the glory of the Lord in his dwelling place. There are 4 creatures facing the 4 winds. Each single creature would fill the whole world. Each of them has 4 faces, and every single face looks like the sunrise. Each creature has 4 wings, and every single wing would cover the world. Each one of them has faces within faces and wings within wings. The size of a face is 248 faces, and the size of a wing is 365 wings. Each creature is crowned with 2,000 crowns, and every crown is like the rainbow, and its brightness is as the brightness of the sun's orb, and the rays which shine from each separate crown are as the brightness of the morning star in the east. Above them is the prince, noble, wonderful, mighty, praised with all manner of praise. Kerubiel, Yahweh is his name, a valiant prince, full of boundless power, a majestic prince with whom is majesty, a righteous prince with whom is righteousness, a holy prince with whom is holiness, a prince glorified by thousands of hosts, a prince extolled by countless legions. At his wrath the earth quakes, at his rage the camps tremble, the foundations shudder from fear of him, and Darabot quakes at his rebuke. His body is full of burning coals, it is as high as the 7 heavens, as broad as the 7 heavens, as wide as the 7 heavens. The opening of his mouth blazes like a fiery torch, and his tongue is a consuming fire. His eyelashes are as the splendor of lightning, his eyes like brilliant sparks, and his face looks like a blazing fire. A crown of holiness is on his head, with a sacred name engraved upon it, from which lightning flickers. The bow of the Shekinah is across his shoulders. The sword like a lightning flash is on his thigh. His arrows like lightning flashes are in his belt. A breastplate of consuming fire hangs around his neck. The coals of juniper encompass him. The splendor of the Shekinah is on his face. Horns of majesty are on his wheels, and a royal turban crowns his head. His whole body is full of eyes. From head to toe he is covered with wings. On his right hand a flame blazes. On his left hand fire burns. Coals blaze from his body, and firebrands shoot from him. Lightnings flash from his face. He is always accompanied by thunderclap upon thunderclap. Earthquake upon earthquake are ever with him. And the 2 princes of the chariot dwell with him. Why is his name called Kerubiel? Because he is in charge of the chariots of the cherubim, and the mighty cherubim are committed to his keeping. He shines upon the crowns on their heads, and furbishes the diadems on their foreheads. He promotes the praise of their form, and adorns their majestic beauty. He makes them very lovely as they are, still lovelier, and increases their great glory. He sings the song of their praise, and recites the strength of their beauty. He makes their glorious splendor gleam, and the glory of their comeliness and grace he makes more fair. He decks their dazzling loveliness, and beautifies their gracious beauty. He honors their majestic rectitude, and extols the order of their praise, so as to prepare a throne for him who sits upon the cherubim. The cherubim stand beside the holy creatures, and their wings are raised up to the height of their heads. The Shekinah rests upon their backs, the splendor of the glory is on their faces, and song and praise are in their mouths. Their hands are under their wings, and their feet are covered by their wings, and horns of glory are on their heads. The brilliance of the Shekinah is on their countenances, and the Shekinah rests upon their backs. Sapphire stones surround them. Pillars of fire are on their 4 sides. Pillars of flame flank them. A sapphire stone stands on one side, and a sapphire stone on the other, and beneath the sapphires coals of juniper. A cherub stands on one side, and a cherub on the other, and the wings of the cherubim enfold each other in glory above their heads. They spread them to sing with them the song to him who dwells in clouds, and to praise with them the glory of the King of Kings.